Welcome to Mind Leaders Live episode 7. We have today with us Sonal Dabral. I'll introduce him in a while. Before that, I would like to introduce Mind Leaders Live. So Mind Leaders Live is a series of webinars that we bring to you where we invite people from global design leaders from across the globe to come in and talk about design strategy, innovation, creativity, and their role in their lives, their projects, and especially in times like these. Mind Leaders Live is basically brought to you by Mind Global, which is a collaborative initiative of Global and Spread Design. Since the launch on May 2nd, we have had over 10,000 people visiting the website. We have, for this particular webinar itself, we have 2,500 people who have registered. This is the highest since all the 6 episodes that we have had in the past. We are crossing 300 people online right now. We have 700 applications for the creative leadership program that we have, which is the postgraduate certificate program in design strategy and innovation. I would be introducing the program later in the end. Thank you everyone for being here, especially the ones who are right now on the session. And with this, I would like to moving into introducing Sonal now. I think it's all over social media. I will just introduce him once again. He's the ex-chief creative officer of Southeast Asia at Ogilvy. He's a writer, he's a director, he's a keynote speaker, and the winner of IAA Creative Agency Leader of the Year Award. He's an NID alumni who makes both the design and the media fraternities proud. Now he has set sail on a new and exciting onward journey, which we will definitely ask him about. Now with this, I would like to hand it over to Sonal. Off to you, Sonal.
Thank you very much, Shwetab. Thank you for such a nice introduction. Welcome all of you, but before I start my session, I just want to give a message out to the coronavirus. And Mr. Coronavirus, if you think that you can screw us, then you've got one thing coming. Because human beings are resilient, human beings are smart, and human beings will get through it. And human beings will beat you, Mr. Corona. So on that happy note, welcome all of you. And I'd like to know how are the serotonin levels doing? Serotonin levels are, many of you would know, is the chemical that kind of regulates our happy feelings. And serotonin levels, apparently they say, gets when you exercise, when you eat right, when you take lots of proteins, when your diet is right, when you exercise regularly. So my message to you is that each serotonin levels in the times that we are living in. So keep yourself healthy, keep the mind healthy, keep the body healthy as you go forward into this. And as I said earlier, this too shall pass, and we'll come out winners. So what do I have for you today? I worked in advertising for almost 3 decades in India, Malaysia, Singapore, and over these 3 years, and I grew up. I call myself a creative nomad. So I was born in Etawah, in a small town in UP. I grew up in Agra most of the time. Most of my schooling happened in Agra. And then I went on to do graphic design from NID, which was in Ahmedabad. After that, I went on to work in Delhi, and I went on to work in Bombay. From there to Malaysia, to Singapore. So I went to all these different places and had a long, long career in advertising, which I recently left to pursue my long-standing dream of writing and directing long-form content, which is films and web series, and I'll continue to do advertising, but I wanted to explore a whole lot of storytelling in various formats, and that you must be seeing that I love telling stories. So because of the kind of work that I did, I handled so many different brands in so many different cities, so many different offices. And besides that, I've had a lot of hobbies that I've loved, and I'll talk about it a bit, about curiosity, how important curiosity is for all of us. But I've always been a curious person. So uh, because of that, I've had many different passions. So I've loved, for example, I like to know more and more about things. So let's say single malls or all kinds, or playing blackjack also. I'm interested in stocks. And so there's a whole lot of things that I've been passionate about over all these years. Now, what all these things and what all these different offices, different people that I interacted with gave me a lot of lessons, how life gives you lessons. And so I thought what I'll do today is to share those lessons with you. See, although there are lots of lessons that one got, but today I'll share just 5 lessons with you. 5 lessons that life, 5 lessons that advertising, 5 lessons that my hobbies, 5 lessons that travels taught me. And I hope they'll be of some use to you. So should we go into those 5 lessons now? What I'll do is I'll open my keynote, yeah, because I want to show you some stuff also, and then we can take it from there. But as I open my keynote, we've all been kind of sheltered in our homes for the last 3, 4, 5 months. I've forgotten the count also. What I'd like to know from you is, what is that place at home? It might be a room, it might be at the balcony. What is that place at your homes where which has become your favorite over these past 3, 4 months? So, and you can answer, and I possibly I'll just look at some of the answers coming from you. Oh, I can see kitchen, I can see terrace, beautiful bedroom,
terrace,
cozy bed. I like that.
Washroom. Someone says washroom.
Superb. Oh, there's a lot of stuff coming there.
Yeah.
Garden, my study. Okay, let me now open the share screen.
Railway station. That's interesting. Backyard, terrace. New hobby of cooking. Yeah, that's something that's common across most of us. Balcony, study table. Okay. Can all of us see the screen that has been shared? Please type in yes in the chat box so that we know. So the screen has loaded for most of us, Sonal.
Yep. Okay. So everybody
can see the first slide
that I have learned. Everybody can see properly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much visible.
So I'll tell you, I asked you about what has been your favorite place in the last 3, 4 months, and lots of these interesting answers are coming from kitchen to garden to balcony. Recently I started a chat show, and I've been editing a lot. So editing and shooting a lot. So my one room study where my computer is, that has become my favorite place. Why I asked you this was that my first lesson is when we are looking for ideas and insights, we look for the work, best practices that have happened before us. When we look for ideas, and this I'm specifically talking about advertising right now, but it could, I think, apply to anything, any kind of creative pursuit. We look for ideas that have happened before. We Google ideas at times, which is there's nothing bad about it. But I really feel that we are our own best stories, because we keep looking at screens for ideas, inspirations, answer. But once in a while, we should also Google our own memories. And if you, in the last 3, 4 months, you must have realized that there are places at your own home that possibly you wouldn't have discovered. Your love for a certain place, or the kind of feeling that you got in a certain place in the last 3, 4 months. Not only that, and I would urge you all to do that. As I said, once in a while, let's Google our own memories. Let's talk to our mothers, grandmothers, our friends, our streets, the shopkeeper that you must be going down to get groceries from, Let's talk to people. Let's talk to people around us. Let's Google our own memories. And because we've been now closeted in the last 3-4 months at home, this is a really good time to get stories out of your mums, your grandmoms, your uncles, your aunts, whoever you're staying with. Yeah. Because what happens in the time that we get so busy in our day-to-day lives that we forget that. There are so many stories that are part of our lives that can give us tremendous ideas that we don't utilize. So we are our own best stories. And because if you really look at it, our best ideas actually reside in our own ways. Our identity and our inspirations also reside in our own stories, amongst us, in our lives, in the lives that has happened before us, in the stories of our parents. So do that. We are our own best stories. When I was growing up, I grew up in Agra, as I told you. So Agra to everybody was this, and this is what Agra is all about, But Agra actually is this also, This is a shot from very near the place where I grew up in, and I sometimes feel that it's seeing life so closely, and the lingo and the people, the way they talk, observing them carefully, is many of the lessons in advertising I learned from these streets. And I remember, there was this, let me take a sip of water. I remember in the summers, in the thick of summer holidays, my uncle used to say in Firozabad, there was somebody who joined from Mathura, I could see. I don't know whether anybody from Agra is also there, but I saw some name from Mathura. So from Agra, we used to go to Firozabad. And there's this dusty old bus station. Now everything has become slicker. But in that time, dusty old buses, those what we used to call khatara buses, heat of the summer. And we got inside, and every time used to come onto the bus and used to knock on the side just 5 minutes before the bus started. And everybody is looking bored, And used to come in and used to knock on the side of the bus door and used to go, भाई और बहनों, आपका बच्चा अंग्रेजी नंबर पाता है, अब उसको हम अंग्रेजी सिखाने के लिए ले आए हैं। ये एक आसान तरीका, इस पुस्तिका में कविता के माध्यम से अंग्रेजी सिखाना बताया गया है। फादर पिता है, मदर है माता, रिलेशन माने रिश्ता नाता, गन होती है बंदूक, बक्सा होता है संदूक, जिस भाई को चाहिए आवाज देके मांग ले, मांगने का कोई कीमत कोई पैसा नहीं. So this is what I heard. So this I still remember, and there was a lesson in advertising there for me also. So I thought I'll just recount this little thing from Agra for you. And now what I'm going to show you is a thought that came to me in Malaysia. It was, again, when I was working in Malaysia, I was heading Ogilvy, Malaysia. I was the chief creative officer there. And it was, again, a hot afternoon. I don't know. My first two stories are about hot afternoons for you. One from the childhood and one from Malaysia. And so I got into the car of this. We were supposed to go for a meeting. And this managing director friend of mine, colleague of mine, we got into his car and we were supposed to go for the meeting. And this meeting was supposed to have been a very tough meeting because I think the client was supposed to sack us or something like that. I kind of forgotten, but very stressful meeting. I used to smoke a lot at that time. So I took out my cigarette pack as the car started, and I started to, took out a cigarette, and I was about to light it when my managing director colleague, he was horrified because his car was absolutely brand new. That with the brand new, the kind of brand new where the leather smell is still there of this brand new seats. And he looks at me horrified and he says, "No way, you are not going to pollute my car." So I felt a little, I said, "Yeah, please." So anyway, I looked at him and I said, "Let me not do that." So I put my cigarette back and put the packet away. And the car started. After a bit, he he switches off the air conditioner and he rolls down the windows and he looks at me and says, okay, let me be nice to you. Go ahead and smoke. So I looked at him. I said, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. And I took out the cigarette and I started smoking. And that's when I realized, why is it that somebody should be nice to smokers? Because smokers pollute the environment. Smokers cause passive smoking. Here I am sitting and spoiling this, my friend's brand new, spanking new car, and he's still being nice to me. Why? So this question got stuck in my head. And I kept thinking. By the time we reached the meeting, I had a script in my head. So we finally made that script. We shot the film in India, and it was actually an anti-smoking commercial. The moment I got the answer to why should people be nice to smokers, I got this script idea. So I'd like to share that script with you. Take a look. The point I wanted to make here is that ideas are actually around us. Most of the time, maybe we don't need to always look at the screens or Google for ideas. They're around us, in the life around us. So take a look. Very well.
भाई साहब आप बैठ जाओ इधर आप बैठ जाओ इधर
Studies show that a person loses 7 minutes of his life every time he smokes a cigarette. Be nice to smokers. They don't have much time left.
My second lesson that I learned was, don't dream it, do it. Because doing is always better than dreaming. If you really look at it, what is COVID teaching us? That the only thing predictable in this world is actually its unpredictability. So, I don't think we should keep spending time planning things. Let's make things, let's do things. If you're, let's say, planning to learn a new language, start today. Any big dream, you can break into small doable things and start. Don't plan, just start learning. Many of you must be planning to, let's say if you're planning to write something, write a novel, write a story, someday, start doing it today. Planning to learn a new language, start learning. If you're planning to, if you like somebody, pick up the phone and tell that person now. Tell her or him now that you like him or her. Don't wait, don't plan. The good thing about dreaming is that dreaming is very, very comfortable. And that is dreaming's biggest problem also. Because dreams never make you better at anything. In your dreams, if you realize, in your dreams, you're always at the top. So what happens is when we dream, dreams become really comfortable because in our dreams, we are already really good. So dreams will never make you better. Doing will make you better. Because when you do, you fail. And every time you fail, you are actually taking a step to becoming better. Every time you are doing something, you are learning something about it. Whether it's a language, whether it's writing, whether it's directing something, whether it's even a relationship. You'll at least come to know whether the relationship works or not. But if you don't take that first step, it's not going to happen. So doing makes you better. And, I'd been like what happened to me. I was in advertising for such a long time, all along thinking that at some point in time, I'll write. Some point in time, I'll write a book. Some point in time, I'll direct a feature film. Some point in time, I'll possibly do a chat show. I had approached a couple of OTT platforms, had actually, when I mentioned this idea, had shown interest, that a chat show on advertising and marketing will be a great idea. And then COVID happened, so everything took a back seat, because of no shootings and all. So I could have waited, waited, because again, the dream. But then I decided, no, let me start it. So let me start from home. I'll interview people remotely. I'll cut it. I'll edit it myself. And let me put it out. So first episode is already out, and see it on my YouTube channel, Sonal Dabral. It's the channel's name is Sonal Dabral. Second episode goes out tomorrow, an interview with Salim Suleiman. So all I said meant was that so that's the so basically, don't dream, do it. As you do it, you'll become better at it. And this is my third lesson, which is concentrating on craft. Run fast, but don't leave the craft behind. I used to always like cooking, but this lockdown gave me an ample opportunity to indulge in my passion for cooking. So what did I do? I bought an expensive knife. How get the right tools. So I bought an expensive knife. I got a chopping board, and I got down to learning some slicing and dicing tricks. Now this knife that I bought is extremely sharp. So I got to be really, really careful. And I've realized that, when you give enough time to your hobbies and your passions, whatever they might be, they do teach you the value of craft. Did you get that? When you give time to your hobbies and your passions, they teach you the value of craft of doing things. Whatever that hobby might be, learning the guitar, playing music, playing the harmonium, singing, you realize the value of craft, of doing things right. And I'm learning it the hard way, because the knife that I bought, this Japanese knife, is really, really sharp. So if I don't get it right, if I don't slowly learn it right, the price I'll have to pay is a chopped finger. So it's also teaching me mindfulness. Now the idea being that as we continue to learn to use the knife the right way, in one day, as I continue to learn to chop the onions and tomatoes the right way, I'll be possibly at some point in time dicing like Jamie Oliver and all that. At some point in time, as you practice, things become muscle memory. And the point I'm trying to make here is, and this applies to all the people who are in any kind of field, and especially creative fields, because that's the field that I know well, that as we come out of COVID, as we come out of this crisis, something which was already happening will happen more and more, which will, budgets will get smaller, and things will be needed much faster than ever before. But what that means is that perfection or doing things right should become a muscle memory with us. So that even if you are doing something really fast, delivering a project really fast, you don't forget the importance of craft. And at no point in time, you have to choose between doing something fast and doing something great. So this was my third lesson to you, that run fast, do things fast, but do not leave craft behind. Because if you don't do something really, really well, then what's the point in doing it? Here's the shot of the knife and that tomatoes, and that's the curry that I cooked. So it's not so bad. And that's if you saw, that's the tomato falling on the top knife. Okay, this fourth lesson is coming to you from blackjack. So don't call it gambling; it's blackjack. Blackjack is unlike other cards, whether it's teen patti or whatever, which are gambling. I consider blackjack a game of skill in a way. So in blackjack, every time you get a card, when you're dealt a card, depending on what the dealer has, the card the dealer has, and your two cards that have been dealt to you, you can either call hit, you can call split, double down, or surrender. You can take those 4 decisions. Now, the decision you take dictates whether you win or lose. So there is a decision that you have to make. Now, luck obviously counts a bit, like in everything in life. But this skill is needed, this decision-making skill. But that also means one thing, which is that we can only play with the cards that have been dealt to us. The cards that have been dealt to us, we can't change the cards. It's our response to those cards that decides everything, whether we win or we lose. So actually speaking, if you really look at it, this I'm talking to people who are in, let's say, advertising, that or for any field, we talk about, oh my God, such a tough client. The client doesn't know how to brief me, or what a terrible brief, what a boring brief, what a terrible product. We keep complaining all that. But if you really look at it, there is actually no boring or bad client. There is no actually a boring or bad brief. It's our response. It's our response that is bad or boring. It's our response that is making them in our heads bad or boring. In fact, you keep aside even brands or briefs or product or whatever field you are working in. Let's look at the situation we are all we are in right now, which is this COVID crisis. This crisis are actually the cards that have been dealt to us. The crisis is the cards that have been dealt to us. It's our response now in our heads. What is our response? Will we just, just lie down and say, oh, nothing can be done. I'm closeted in my house. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Is that the response? Will you surrender or will you double down? Or the response will be no. Because these cards have been dealt to me, let me now play the hand in the best possible manner. Can I learn a new skill? Can I find newer ways of doing things? Can I find whichever field you are in right now? There has to be, if we are saying this is the new normal, there has to be a more innovative way of doing things, of whatever you are doing. Whether you're a writer, whether you're an art director, whether you're a photographer, filmmaker, whether you got a shop, anything that you've got, there has to be a more innovative way of doing which suits the current condition that we are in. And that actually is playing the hand the right way. Cards have been dealt to you, and I am going to decide whether I'm going to double down or have patience and win this round. So this was the 4th lesson that I had. And talking about playing the hand with the cards that you've been dealt, here's a quick film that I'll share with you, which is, I was shooting this film, we were shooting this film in Amsterdam, and this film is about a height challenged person. The script was for Coca-Cola, and the script was about a height challenged person, a person really short in height. So it's a handicap for the person. And a day before we were supposed to shoot, we were sitting in the hotel lounge and we were discussing the next day shoot. And within some time, the actor who was playing this height challenged person was supposed to arrive from London. He was flying from London. Now that person, I think his name was Kiran Desai, and he plays stunt double. He's done many Hollywood films, whether it was Narnia or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. he has played the Oompa Loompa in that film. And so he's done stunt doubles for little kids because of his height challenge. So we were generally discussing, and suddenly everybody stopped. And everybody stopped to look at the entrance of the lounge in the hotel. And I saw there's this really short height challenge person, which was Kiran Desai, walking in, with a swagger. He had this jacket on him. He was wearing jeans. He was wearing boots. And he was walking, confidently and laughing and chatting with the waiter who was bringing him to our table. He came to our table. Within 5 minutes, he started to tell us stories about London, about his flight, about his shooting, and all kinds of anecdotes. So we stopped discussing the film and we were just listening to this guy telling us these fantastic stories. And I was thinking to myself, wow, look at this guy. He has been given a kind of a handicap by God, by nature, right? And look at this person's response to it. There was nothing in his demeanor, in his manners, in the way he was talking to us, which told you that this, even an iota of the fact that he's handicapped or he's really, really short, is there in his head. So it was he was dealt a certain cards, and this was his response to them. And this was what was happening that evening, was almost the script that I had worked on, which we were shooting the next day, being played out to me in a way. So take a look at that film now, which we shot the next day. This film has got no CGI, no computer graphics, nothing. Everything is real. I had five lessons to share with you, but I put in one more, and because I thought it was important, which was curiosity and compassion. Curiosity is really, really important for any person, not just creative people, for anybody. You need to be curious about things, about knowing more about people, knowing more about the product you're working on, having questions. What if this happens? What's behind this? What's behind this product? What does the label look like? How is this product made? Where was it made? Who makes this? All kinds of questions. That's curiosity. And the other thing now, which has become really, really important, is compassion. Compassion, because unless you are compassionate about other human beings, you can't communicate with them properly. And especially in the times that we are going through these days, listening and having compassion, I think, are really, really important. That's why last minute I added that. And this kind of reminded me of a film that I worked on, and I directed this film also, and I had written this song. This song is all about friends, Number One Yari. I'm sure you people some of you might have heard it. I thought I'll share that film with you again, because the times that we are going through right now are tough times, So keep your ears open for your friends. Be compassionate about people that you meet, and reach out to friends. If you are feeling down, if you are feeling down and out, or if you're having any problems, too much thinking, reach out, talk to people, and otherwise reach out to friends to find out how they are. I'm sure you're doing all that, but I thought I'll just bring that in. Yeah, let's watch this film and then I'll wrap it up, because we are running out of time.
अच्छा, अगर हम तीनों में से मैं फेवरेट निकला, तुम दोनों को बुरा तो नहीं लगेगा?
वो 103 डबल निकल गई।
हर आसमां से ऊंची है, समंदरों से गहरी, ऐसी वैसी दोस्ती नहीं, ऐसी वैसी दोस्ती नहीं, ये नंबर
मेरा यार,
यारी है,
मेरा यार,
नंबर वन यारी है, ये नंबर वन यारी है। छाँव में धूप में जाने कितने रूप में ये तपी है, ये जली है, सोना बनके ये मिली गलियों से गुजरी है, बरसों सबरी है, ऐसी वैसी दोस्ती नहीं, ये नंबर वन यारी है, ये नंबर वन यारी है। धूप में जाने कितने रूप में ये तपी है, ये जली है, सोना बनके ये मिली गलियों से गुजरी है, बरसों सबरी है, ऐसी वैसी दोस्ती नहीं, ये नंबर वन यारी है, ये नंबर वन यारी है।
यार हम अगर इतने सारे बन खाएंगे ना तो एक दिन जरूर कुछ बन जाएंगे।
कभी तो जोड़ती, भटकूं कभी तो मोड़ती,
ये पागल है क्या? इसको बड़ा किया नानी ने, अभी नानी बीमार है तो जाएगा नहीं। क्यों? क्योंकि पैसे नहीं है ना? पैसे हैं भाई, पैसे हैं, ये देख
हर खुशी
पैसे हैं, ये ले,
हर गम में, अच्छे बुरे मौसम में,
नाटक मत कर, निकल। और ये भी
हमसे करती बात है साए जैसी साथ है, ये नंबर वन यारी है, ये नंबर वन यारी है, ऐसी वैसी दोस्ती नहीं, ये नंबर वन यारी है, ये नंबर वन यारी है।
जापना इस नाचीज पे एक एहसान कर दे। उस पहाड़ के इस तरफ की बंजर जमीन इसके नाम पर।
बाबा क्या बात है, क्या बात है। अब एक काम और करेंगे, बड़े बड़े पहाड़, ये हंसी वादियां, ये सेब के बगीचे, बस क्या रहा है, तुझे नहीं मिला।
हर आसमां से ऊंची, समंदरों से गहरी, ये नंबर वन यारी है, ये नंबर वन यारी है।
मुझे याद है, तुम तीनों का हंसना एक साथ, रोना एक साथ, हारना और झगड़ना भी एक ही साथ होता।
मैम, एक बात पे तो हम कई सालों से झगड़ रहे हैं। हम तीनों में से आपका फेवरेट कौन था?
था नहीं, थी। तुम तीनों की यारी।
जश्न है, रंग है, ये जहां संग है, यही पंख भी, उड़ान भी, अरमां भी, आसमां भी, इस पल से जिंदगी तक ये दुनिया सारी है, ये नंबर यारी है, ये नंबर यारी है।
बॉयज, ऐसे ही रहना, डोंट एवर चेंज।
McDowell's #1 soda, असली यारी का #1 spirit.
This I had not directed. I wrote the song and I worked on the story. I had written this anthem and worked on the story. So this is the next one that I had directed also. The other thing that blackjack has taught me, that in a six decks game, there is a probability of 4.749% of you definitely getting a blackjack. That means after every 21 games, after every 21 games, mathematical probability, you are bound to get a blackjack. So whenever I'm feeling down or whenever no ideas are coming, I tell myself that, you know what, blackjack is just round the corner. It will be coming. So, if you're not getting any ideas, sometimes you're feeling down. This COVID crisis has put us down. Do not feel down, because as people, we are blessed people. We are all creative people and we are blessed people. So ideas will come, and B, the blackjack in the form of a great idea, in the form of good times, is just around the corner, 21 games away, 4.976% mathematical probability. Good things are bound to happen. So that was my last lesson of the day. There will be a blackjack coming soon. Thank you very much. And Shweta, over to you. Any questions?
Yeah, I think the video made a lot of people nostalgic as far as I see the chat, and I have like so many questions and the mimicry that you did. I think you should try acting also now that you're trying new things. And I myself have a lot of questions to you, but in the interest of time, I'll move on to taking a few interesting questions from the audience. I think there are two questions that I can answer right now. One is about the sessions recording. Will this recording be available? Yes, all you have to do is go to YouTube channel and say Mind Global, and you'll see all the episodes being hosted there, this one and the previous ones. Sonal, we won't be able to take, I think this is again the maximum number of questions we have had in any session. We have like 45 plus.
Somebody said my goggles are great. Thank you so much. And
they definitely are.
All the people who are sending such beautiful messages. Thank you so much. That's making my day.
Yeah. So they definitely are. I wish I had something jazzy. So we have a question that I'll just pick up, which is quite. Should marketing strategy decide the design or the other way around?
That's a very interesting question. You know what? In the real world, it's the marketing strategy that should decide the design. But that doesn't mean that design can't be magical. because that's what designers are for. They are supposed to take a leap from the strategy. See, marketing strategy gets formed because of the realities of the business, because of the target audience, because of what the company, where the company is at. Maybe the company is suffering, maybe they are very successful. So marketing strategy will decide the course from the business point of view. But that marketing strategy getting translated into creative, that's what we all get paid for, you know. So do not worry about marketing strategy. It should not be seen as a hindrance. It should be seen as trampoline. Yeah, see it as a trampoline where you jump and take off. But sometimes, because again we are creative people, sometimes you might get such a magical, brilliant idea that it has to be done. But otherwise, do not worry about strategy. It's very, very important.
Yeah. So I think we can take one more question here. So it says, I think there's one that's very relevant because it connects COVID. So I'll just take that one. It says, so it says, where do you think brand advertising is headed post-COVID? If you are a brand new brand, other than storytelling or hygiene, what are the 5 things you believe brand needs to concentrate on? So if not 5, you can maybe just briefly answer this. So it's basically how would branding evolve or change post-COVID or be reborn post-COVID?
So branding is not an isolated thing. Branding is for your consumer's mind. In fact, brands reside in consumers' minds. They reside in consumers' mind. Consumers owns brand, not us. So the shape branding will take depends on the consumers. So if you're saying that your target audience is into TikTok in a big way, it's playing Fortnite all day, is consuming very, very different, consuming content in a very, very different way, then you have to totally study that. What is your consumer doing? And that will dictate the way you take the branding route. You have to surprise the consumer. You have to still break the clutter, but you'll have to keep that in mind. So, and I think so. That's one part. Again, compassionate. They have to care about the consumer first. What the consumer needs. They have to support the consumer rather than sell your stuff. So any brand who's able to do that successfully will be a successful brand. And I think as brand creators, as creative people, keep that in mind. Whatever brief you might be getting tomorrow, even if you get a brief of hard sell, tell your teammates that no, let's do one thing. Let's see it from the consumer's point of view. By bringing a smile to that consumer's face, you might be able to sell a product.
Yes, and then we have a video, we have a question right after the first video you played, slightly personal. You can choose not to answer it, but it says, did you quit smoking after the ad?
It took me 8 years after the ad to finally quit smoking, but I quit smoking in 2011, 31st of December. So it's been quite some time now. And anybody out there who wants to quit smoking, I've actually written a post on it, So you can connect with me anywhere, and I'll share that post with you on how I quit. But any of you there who's smoking or not smoking, try to quit. It's good, and you won't miss it at all.
Yeah. So I think we'll quickly take one more because I think we have 5 more minutes. We close this at 4:05. So there's a question by Kiran who's asking, do you think over the last years we have been losing the relevance of the industry? What is the future of creative agencies and marketing solutions?
Sorry, come again?
Yeah, so it says, do you think over the last few years we have been losing relevance of the industry? And this is talking about creative agencies. What is the future of creative agencies and marketing solutions?
See, digital obviously is coming in a really, really big way. So actually, COVID has been a big wake-up call for all agencies that we have to up our game in terms of knowing digital really, really well. Because now there is nothing nothing called digital. Everything is digital now. Technology has now overtaken our lives, yeah, and it will go only faster and faster. So, if any agency that is not fast enough to adapt or change, will lose relevance. So that's one. B, we have to be very careful about how storytelling is happening now. Although in India still the typical 30-second, 60-second ad is still very, very important, but that also will change very, very fast. The other thing, for a simple thing like vertical video. How many of us are doing stuff in vertical video, while the consumer out there is consuming more and more of vertical video. There is a study which says that the engagement on a vertical video was 70% more on a mobile phone compared to, although you can always turn the mobile phone to look at it horizontally, but on a vertical video, it was 70% more than the horizontal video. Imagine TikTok is only geared for vertical video. YouTube also, after a long time, is now geared for vertical video. So we need to update ourselves.
Yeah. So thanks, Sonal, for answering them briefly.
Sorry. Somebody just said, how can we connect? My name, my name. If you remove the dot, Sonal Dabral, one word, at mac.com is my email ID. Otherwise, on LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter, I'm Agra Ka Dabra. And so you can connect me any of these ways. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the people who have posted their questions and we haven't been able to answer them, we are going to be in future. What we are going to do is we are going to take those questions, post it on our social media, tag you and Sonal for you to get connected to him, and then have conversation over there. So that's one way we can get all of you connected with Sonal. The people who are signing up for the courses, I think you'll be able to meet him like very regularly, because he's also one of our council members. So I think the next question that I would like to answer before we close this is the question on the PGCP program. So I have a quick, within 3 to 5 minutes, I'll quickly let you through the program. So the program is called Postgraduate Certificate Program. The specialization is design strategy and innovation. We have had 700 applications since we launched, and it will be conducted via live studio sessions. There are 8 courses over 22 weeks, starts on July 11th, runs for 22 weeks, which is roughly 5.5 months. They're specifically designed for working professionals to fit into their schedules. Here, we basically focus on design principles, strategy methods, innovation practices, to embed a structural and creative approach to problem solving. And the 3 USPs that I would like to talk about are the entire curriculum is designed by industry experts. So if you can go to, I would request each and every one of you to go to mind-global.com. Quite a few of you have registered for the webinar from the same website. Please visit the website, have a look at our Us page, which is about us. It has our academic advisory council and industry advisory council. We have this entire curriculum, which is being designed it's done by industry experts. It will be delivered by industry experts. There's something called as DARES. These are live projects. So you don't just learn something, but you also go back to implementing whatever you have into live projects. So that's something really interesting, and it makes it as close as possible to a live project. Right now, there's a discount running, which makes the course is priced at 1,20,000. But right now, there's a discount available that makes the course price 80,000, which is probably the best price if you compare it. And you get an invite to Design Barn. I'll request all of you to visit Design Barn. Design Barn is basically a network that we have created for design leaders and people in the design spectrum to get connected to each other. So it's a platform where design leaders get connected with the global design community. And we have had many MNCs and organizations like Microsoft, Amazon, Accenture host their event in collaboration with Design Barn. So you can go and look at the design, and the moment you sign up for the course, you also get to be a part of the Design Barn You can go and take a look at an introductory video of Design Barn on YouTube by just searching Spread Design Barn. So that's pretty much about the course. We would get in touch with one-on-one calls with everyone who have mentioned that they are interested in taking up the course. I would kind of give it back to you, Sonal, to close this and give any closing message, and then we'll close this with our video that we play, which is about the course.
Yeah, okay. So I'd like to really thank all of you for coming in today, because I love talking, I love telling stories, and to have such a big audience. And there are people from Qatar and Dubai, anybody who's out of India, from out of India, a special thanks, because you are Pardesi, you know, and jo Desi, Pardesi or Desi sab doston ko mera big salam and a big thank you to all of you. And so somebody said, can you summarize what the points were today? So let me try to summarize. What were the points? Yeah, you are your own best stories. There will be a blackjack coming. Do not, if you want to run fast, don't leave the craft behind. Craft is very important. Compassion and curiosity is very important. And remember the very important one. It's not about the cards you are dealt. It's about how you play the hand, and it applies in life to anything. These are 5. There are too many questions to and I'm feeling bad that I've not been able to answer all these questions. So as Shwetab said, as I said, email, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, just ask me questions, I'll answer all these. Yeah, for sure.
Guys, we'll also be making a post event. I would be going on LinkedIn and making a post around the discussion that we have had today, tagging Sonal. So if you are connected, you can find Sonal from there and then continue with the conversation. We have 88 questions. That's like maximum we have ever had. And it's not possible for us to answer, but we'll make sure that we get you connected to Sonal and we get you on a conversation, if not in person, definitely on the digital channels. And we'll meet again next Saturday, 3 p.m. again with Sonia Manchanda, founder and partner at Spread Design. Till then, see you all. Bye-bye.
Somebody asked the email ID again. Sonal Dabral, which is one word, and Mac, as in Apple Mac, mac.com. Sonal Dabral at mac.com. That's my email ID.
Thank you, everyone, for being on the session. We'll be closing it now, and see you next Saturday at 3 p.m. again. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.